When I meet someone for the first time and ask me what I do, I still kind of have imposter syndrome. It just sounds kind of uppity to me when I say, oh, I'm an artist. I'm Paul Puckett. I'm a musician, luthier. I'm a sporting artist, fly fisherman, drawer of sorts. And then there's probably a bunch of other stuff that I'm half-assed good at that I probably shouldn't even be listing. I grew up in Dallas, right in the middle of the city. When I was a kid, I would stay in Tyler, Texas with my grandparents, where my parents were from. One granddad just took me fishing all the time, anytime I wanted. The other granddad was kind of a cowboy figure, worked in the oil fields. And he was the one that when I was 13 said, boy, you're driving today. He put me in the pickup truck seat and he had me drive into the city. When I told my parents that, they couldn't believe it. But that's just what granddads did. They believed in you. I got into fly fishing after I'd kind of conventional fished my whole life. My granddad was going to teach me how to fly fish, and he passed away before he could. Fished on Lake Taneycomo with his fly rod for the first time. I mean, I couldn't even cast 15 feet, 20 feet, and there were these rising trout out there, and it was so aggravating because I couldn't just get it 10 more feet. And from that day, I just knew I was going to learn this and figure this out. My first normal job, funny enough, was working at a store called Fishing World. I'd go there during the weekday and stock. And then they opened a fly fishing store in Dallas. And that's the shop that really got me catapulted into doing commission projects. Some of our customers in the store would have me paint their fish. The first thing I ever did was, if you caught a 24-inch trout and you have a photo of it, I would paint it 24 inches and paint it just like the photo. I was like, man, I can paint a fish, something I love painting, and they're handing me $200 or $300 for it, you know? So that's when it kind of hit the next level. It went from like dreaming about it to actually doing it. The true love of the outdoors for me kicked in when I was in college. I went to school up in Denton, Texas. I'd go fish the Brazos River below Possum Kingdom Lake and also down below Lake Whitney, down around Waco. And I would just have these kind of one-day trips where I'd do that by myself. You learn so much from that experience. You hear things you've never heard before. I think that's when I fell in love with it in a little bit different way than going with my parents, grandparents, and friends.
Now the trick is to trick them before they trick us. Keep it tricky.
I decided after I graduated college finally that I would move to Wyoming and be a fish bum. So I got a job where I got to work 4 days in the shop, have 3 days off to go wherever I wanted to within a couple hundred miles out west. It was paradise. It was 4 years of paradise. I caught thousands of fish. And I can sit here and say I don't have to catch another fish for the rest of my life because I have as much fun in just the preparation for it. What needs to happen to be successful. And as long as I get all those things right, if I catch a fish or not catch a fish, it's not going to change my day a whole lot. Now, I have been to some amazing places, and because I've had the miles and I've gone out there and I've caught all these fish, that I can say that. If I hadn't had those moments, maybe I wouldn't be saying that. There's enjoyment for me when a fish beats you, like when a fish does not eat your fly, when you did everything perfectly, whether it's a redfish or a tarpon. You can walk away going, man, that fish deserved to win. You know, they've got to win every now and then. And I don't mind living with that. That's part of the fun. My dad was a musician. He was an amazing guitar player. He was a teacher, but he played a lot of part-time gigs. I went and bought a guitar and learned how to play it. Then I'd be able to play with my dad. And I love that camaraderie of playing music together.
Well, I'm some kind of something with a big old bag of nothing. Like to think sometimes good enough's gotta do. Don't overthink the small things that turn off anything that rings. And take in a sunrise and never waste an afternoon. Well, I'm a low country cowboy, I got nothing left to lose. A low country cowboy, I got that bluff mud on my boots. And yeah, times they may change, but you ain't gonna make me change my ways. I'm a low country cowboy, low country cowboy blues. Low country cowboy blues. Low country cowboy blues.
got a guitar problem. A couple years ago, I bought one of these kits that kind of has everything ready to rock. I did about 2 or 3 of those, and then I started kind of, well, maybe I'll make my own body. Now it's something I do because I want to get better at it. The fact that I can just come out here when I'm out of the studio and come out here and feel like I'm doing something productive. The crazy thing is that someone can take this and they can make something from something I've already made is just very cool. That's just a neat feeling to know that that's possible.
Hey Ben, look at that fish right there at 11 o'clock. Just start casting at 11. Came up quick and went away really quick. That's why they call it fishing, not catching, right?
When you're in the outdoors with other people that get it, I can be with someone that's one of my best friends that normally we're talking like crazy, but there might be 15 minutes where we haven't even said a word because we're both so locked in to what's happening. You know, we're talking, but we're talking to nature and nature's talking to us, so there's no conversation needed. I don't think you realize how special it is until you get off that boat and you kind of look back and reflect. And that's what I like to write in my journals. These sketchbooks, I've got 5 of them that just kind of chronicles in a timeline everything, everywhere I've gone fishing in the last 8 to 9 years, and it's something I probably want to do every 5 years or maybe every 10 years. So I'm working on that right now, compiling these and publishing a book. Every fishing trip I go on now, I try to write some sort of memory or thought or idea and then draw something from what happened that week. And the cool thing about this is I cannot remember anything about what happened on April 8th, 2020, but once I start reading this, it all like comes back to me. Had an awesome red fishing morning yesterday with a couple buddies. Alex has a secret boat ramp stash, so we got out on the water as it was a great pre-work flood tide. Saw a fish tailing on the second spot we pulled. He gave me a few warm-up casts, and finally he ate the gurgler. So just kind of a few moments that might have happened, and a lot of this was during COVID where I was doing a new drawing every day. I think what keeps me passionate about fishing is probably where I live here in Charleston. There's so many moments that can inspire you living here and being on the water. Every day is so different. The sun, the weather, the tides, the current, nothing's easy. Nothing's easy here. This marsh, there's just thousands of little secrets out there. So I know that every time I go out there, I'm gonna see something new. And there's some times where I'll go out and not even catch a fish and the weather's crappy and everything goes wrong. But man, I come back to that boat ramp totally recharged and totally excited to the next day. Man, I can't wait to go in the studio and paint. My painting, the way I do it now is pretty methodical. I do some pretty technical stuff because when it comes to the world of sporting art, I don't want to let the water down, if that makes sense. I don't want to let nature down. I don't want to let the viewer down. I want to get it right. Authenticity and attention to detail in what I do. People are so passionate, and so if you have just a little thing off or wrong and it's clear that you haven't been there doing what you're painting, people can tell that. I mean, I can tell that the second I look at certain art. And you know, it's one thing to be a painter and want to be interested in painting certain things, but you need to try to immerse yourself into the subject as much as you can and as often as you can. I think that I'm trying to paint a feeling more than anything, than I am trying to paint a guy laying a perfect cast to a fish. And I like to paint the moments that lead up to right before that fish eats that hook or that fly or that lure. It's kind of a buck fever thing. Your buddy's relying on you, he's pulled the boat to the perfect spot. When you get to the point where you actually start casting, man, your heart's going and that fly's about to hit the water. That's what I'm painting. And it gets my heart just thinking about it right now, honestly. I'm already like kind of jacked up from it. So that's what I want you to feel when you see my paintings.
How do you want your work to be remembered?
I would like for someone to say, man, he just painted that moment that we all love and crave. We don't know what's gonna happen in the painting, but man, I've been in that situation plenty of times. And maybe a good painter, I wouldn't mind if someone said, oh, he's pretty good.